Hello, Melissa. No, I should say hello, Lissi. Shall I say
Hello.
Lissi? Is that
Yes,
okay, Lissi?
absolutely.
Lovely, lovely. Lissi, it is so good to connect with you after being persuasion of a lot of time that we have spent on texting and messaging and on Facebook and messengers. And this is the world that we live in, right, Lissi? You are in Australia, I am in New Zealand, and what a coincidence that we still can connect, we still can talk, we still can see each other. How do you feel about that? Isn't it
Absolutely.
beautiful?
I love it. It's amazing. And I definitely agree with the timing is always perfect. So the time is now.
Absolutely.
Let's enjoy.
Yeah, let's enjoy. So, whoever is listening to us, whoever we are going to do this, this is our candid conversation. This is our human to human conversation. And that's why we touched on many topics. We touched on many things that as a human journey, what is it as a human journey? And why do we do what do we do? And why we
Mm.
do what for what
Why we
we do.
do what we do, that
Yeah,
is phrase has driven my teaching career and my artistic choices. My life.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And why humans should not be, labeled. That is one of the key things that we humans are so engrossed in labeling ourselves or giving a title to ourselves so that we are identified or we are labeled or we think that is our recognition. But in reality, no. As you said, you do so many things. Why do we do what do we do? So many things we do, and we should never be labeling people or any human, hey, you are this. Yes, you qualified for that. Doesn't mean that you are that because innerly we all are multiple, multifaceted,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose humans. Yes.
That's why we can help each other. That's why we can talk to each other. That's why we can understand each other. And so I think this topic is amazing that what we are doing now is just human to human talk.
Mhm.
And it's always good to have perspectives when there is a gender human. So we call it like a human is a male and a female. But today we have got the luxury to interact irrespective where we are located. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So we will talk about human. I want to see your perspectives. I want to see what you do. I can tell you what I do and then why I do what I do. What is my purpose in this journey?
Mm.
How do I how do I make my journey a bit better for me first so that if I am better, I can make everyone better. If I am not better, I make everyone sick. That
Yeah. Yeah.
way. So
Pretty
let's
much.
start, Lizzie. I
That's
want to understand you first, your brain. Pick your brain.
yes. Go right ahead.
Tell me
Well,
something about you first.
well, you're speaking right to my heart. My focus for who
Mm,
I am and what I spend my time doing
mm,
is all born out of that place of making sure that I'm in a place of wholeness and that I'm leading from a place of wholeness. And that part that you mentioned so beautifully, I knew it would align exactly what you're thinking is what I've been thinking, and that's why the timing is now. And it's right.
mhm.
This conversation,
Yeah.
because have for so long felt the pressure of the boxes and that we have in the world, and
Mm,
more so the walls between things. I've always been interested in many different things, and
mm.
um, everything from the arts through to philosophy um,
Absolutely.
and you know, entertaining children through to talking about the meaning of life
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I
everything in
mean,
between.
that's why I call multi-purpose of humans. Humans' life
Exactly,
is a multi-purpose.
exactly. And I love that, and I've embraced that more than ever
Oh,
in
great. I love it.
now in my life.
Me too.
Yes, and I
Me
think
too.
that's why the timing also is right for me to be able to share, like you said,
Yes.
to be able to come from a place of wholeness myself, having
Mhm.
done the work and being committed to myself and going, no part of me left behind. I'm not going to lock any of me in a box over there or try and be this box or just that box, but actually everything, be
Mm.
everything that I am,
Yeah.
and how to wear those multiple hats and how to
Right.
operate in some of the systems and the boxes that is life. And we have to operate within those, some
Mm.
of those systems. And instead of resisting them, going with the flow and being able to sometimes go, okay, well, this this is suitable for this environment or this kind of conversation here, or it's balancing what
Mm,
we need and making sure
mm.
we're coming from a place of wholeness, along with looking at who we're leading or guiding or
Yeah,
giving to or serving,
yeah.
that we
That's right.
know, yeah, meeting them where they're at and being able to see the whole picture and not just talking to one part of
Mm.
what they're
But
dealing with.
you said this one beautiful thing just now. Like I started with why, but then you said how. I
Mm.
because I it immediately clicked me that yeah, people can listen to why we say this and why we do that. But how you do this and how you are going to do it, that's the most another important part of the other side of the coin.
Wow, interesting. Because I've always said I'm like the why child, where the
Yeah.
5-year-old's like, but why, but why, but
Yeah,
why?
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And and then I went into high school teaching, and we teach kids how to ask why. And
Correct.
it's so important for critical thinking.
Mm.
And it's funny that you picked up that I actually went automatically to the how after all
Mm.
my life being all about the why. But I think it is important to be able to hold both.
Yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
everything.
Yeah.
So if we don't know why, we're mindlessly doing the how.
Mm.
And but once we know our why, and our why, something you mentioned in another one of your
Mm-hmm.
talks or
Mm-hmm.
interviews
Mm-hmm.
was, let me get it right,
Mm.
purpose is the process, or you said something along the lines of,
Mm-hmm.
um, purpose isn't just a one-stop destination, that there's a process of purpose. And
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
we grow and we understand our inner world,
Yeah.
our purpose can evolve.
Yeah, because we need to know why is one thing, but then we also need to know why do we do what we do. So what is our purpose? What is our,
Yeah.
idea behind it? So I think I want to pick also this a very beautifully what you said is like, you do so many things and then you play so many roles. And this is not just you. When we talk about you and me, it's
Mhm.
about we humans. So
Yes.
whoever is listening, please understand it's not about Lizzie and Shailesh. It's about you also because
Mm.
you are humans too.
Yeah.
And so I want to touch on this, like, when we talk about us and when we talk about individuals,
Mm.
we wear so many hats. So if people who have got kids, people who are, involved with so many multiple projects, they interact with so many things, and it doesn't matter whether it's the child or middle age or these, that's not the point. That besides the one, it's the interaction of a human to human
Mm.
is what we are here for, and that's our purpose, is to interact and to express rather than suppress. Because
Mm.
most of the time in today's world that we see, that I see, Lizzie, is like we try to suppress many things, even though we know it, we try to suppress it. And I think I am one that I want to express it, irrespective it is whether it is, non-authentic, authentic, unapologetic, apologetic, whatever it is. We got to be unapologetically authentic,
Yeah.
basically. Does that make sense to you,
Yes.
listen?
Absolutely.
Mm,
Yes. I think that is the most important,
mm.
um, maybe one of the most important skills that we all need as
All
humans
need it, yeah.
is communication and being able to express ourselves. And if we don't know our why, we don't know ourselves,
Mm,
we don't know what to express. And we
absolutely.
do
Absolutely.
end up expressing things that aren't
Mm,
quite what we think or isn't our authentic self, or we suppress it to the point it comes out
mm,
unapologetically, and
yeah.
it can do damage. But if we take time to know why we do what we do and know our patterns and know things,
Mm,
sometimes we have to give it a try and it doesn't come out right, but at least we're
absolutely.
trying.
But we are trying. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why we ask our kids, hey, don't ask, don't worry about stupid questions. There is nothing called
Yeah,
stupid. You just ask if you don't
yeah.
know. Just ask,
And you figure it out, and that safe
Mm.
space to have these conversations, where I
Yeah.
think is the other part. We're brave enough to speak, but we're also safe enough to listen. And together, human
Mm.
to human, we can find those sweet spots and get to the authenticity, because there's not the defense or the
No.
walls up, and we can allow lots of walls to come down
So,
between.
so coming back to this, let's go back to your journey as a kid. What was Lizzie like as a child that she is what today is? I mean, how she changed and how she transformed herself. I would love to know you in that regard, so that it's a human journey. Then everybody has got a different childhood, different stages, different environment, different background,
Mm,
different mindsets, different, upbringing, different traditional way of looking at things.
mm,
Your uncles don't think the same way as your mother thinks or father thinks. Your friend doesn't think the same way as your
mm,
siblings. So it's so diverse, dynamic of everything. But we as a human take everyone in our stride and
mm.
then make this informed decision of ourselves, for us, for others at that time. So I want to go back to your childhood. I'm more intrigued to know, how was your childhood? What was your upbringing like? What was your traditional way of looking at things and what you were put into your head?
Mhm.
So, like, every child has got, we always say that, oh, every child has got a dream. But then you mentioned something that you were always wanting to do differently and very much aware of why. You were asking this as a child also,
Mm.
why to do this, why I'm doing this. So I love this why. And so I want to know why Lizzie, what was Lizzie like?
Well, that's where I start. I definitely
Mm.
was a why kid,
Hmm.
and I think at times, um,
So was that your environment influence or was that your own influence? How do you see now when you
I
look
would
back
say, yeah, interesting question,
hmm,
because I would say it was a nature thing. It
in
was
nature?
part of me. I came that way, and I probably annoyed my teachers and my parents by asking why. So just accept it, Melissa. Just go along with it. And
Yeah.
no, I'm not a just accept and go along with kind of person. I
Hmm,
need to understand deeply. I think I always
hmm,
have thought and felt very deeply and want to understand all the connections between all the ideas and all the things, and
hmm,
if I was told something,
hmm.
it wasn't a rebellion, but I guess it came out that way sometimes if I was pushing for why, but I don't want to do it until I understand
Correct.
why I'm doing it.
Hmm,
So in that sense, I had that aspect as well as being a stereotypical perfectionist, good
hmm,
girl, trying to
hmm,
get good grades, do the right thing,
hmm.
not get in trouble, talk too
Uh-huh.
much at school.
Hmm.
Surprise. And
So
that'd be
did
what I
you
got in
had
trouble
did you
with.
had any goals, visions, dreams, just like everyone, or just
Yeah.
like most of them?
Did I
Or,
have any dreams?
yeah,
Yeah.
did you had any like, what do I do? What do I become? Or what's I'm
Yes. I was
influenced?
very driven from a very young age. I always wanted to be a performer, singing, dancing, acting.
100%. That's great. Creative. I
Yes,
love it.
before I was even at school. So I don't know where the influence came from. I don't
Hmm.
know,
You had a
other than
background, you had a family background, or you had a
my parents and grandparents have different creativity throughout, scattered throughout, some
uh-huh.
artists, some painters, um,
Great.
and that kind of thing. A bit of business and a bit of a lot of community work, and
Hmm.
raised in the Christian Reformed Church.
Uh-huh.
And those are kind of my influences.
Mm-hmm.
And my mum used to take me to the theatre, and so we'd go and watch shows, and that probably is what set it off for me. I love seeing the stories come alive on stage and the
Oh,
characters and
beautiful.
all that energy and expression that I had as a kid, going
Mm-hmm.
like, look at me, like, as a kid, to my quite,
Someone may describe you as an attention seeker, or
yes,
someone may
yeah,
see
that
you as a tantrum toddler, or whatever.
I don't know about tantrum, but definitely attention seeking. Maybe tantrum, who knows? Ask my parents.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
definitely push
Okay.
the boundaries, um, asking why, but also I used to struggle with why I was
Mm.
even called an attention seeker or
Yeah.
seen as that, because I was
Mm.
like, well, I've always been this way. Why am I like that?
Mm.
Why, when I went to Universal Studios in America when I was 17, I went with my
Wow.
dad. We went for
Uh-huh.
a leadership conference, and on our day off, we went for fun at Universal Studios. And while we were there, they had this incredible scene with all of the houses of a
Mm-hmm.
township, and then this huge gush of water comes rushing through the town, and everything mechanically falls over and
Mm-hmm.
breaks, and
Mm-hmm.
the water rushes through.
Right,
And
right.
then it all reassembles back to its set.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my dad, why is it that
Mm-hmm.
I don't just want to watch that happen and think, oh, that's cool? Why do I want to get in that water and pretend I am in this scene and hold on to this pole and go through, act that all out? What is that in me? It's
Mm-hmm.
not from my parents, my quiet brother and sister, or my fairly quiet
Yeah,
parents and conservative.
sure.
So that was very much
Yeah.
me going,
How did you transition from that? So you were creative, you
"Hmm,
always wanted to do something creative or public speaking or public performer. You know, performance means in the public and you are not ashamed or shy of public. That means
yeah,
at a very young age, you were already into that mode.
mm,
But then, how did you transition when you became a teenage and when you became in your college or high school or whatever that you
mm."
did? How did you change your goals or visions, or you think, no, this is not me now. I want to do this or I want to do that. Was there anything like that happening in your life?
Yes, quite a few. So I'll try and be succinct.
Yeah.
The main points would have been I wanted to be an actor. I knew about acting and
Mm-hmm.
dancing from a young
Mm-hmm.
age.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found out about singing in high school and I went, oh, I want all three. I couldn't decide which one I liked more. I always
Mm-hmm.
had one of them at the top and then they'd switch around all three.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met a friend in grade 8. When your
Mm-hmm.
world expands, you hit high school and
Absolutely.
different
Mm-hmm.
people, different
Mm-hmm.
mindsets, way of seeing things. And she was from a different religious background, and
Mm-hmm.
that really threw my 14-year-old brain. And I thought, wow,
Yes.
okay, so if you believe that, then that
Mm-hmm.
means this for your world
Mm-hmm.
view, and
Yeah.
where does that leave me? And that led me down a track of studying world religions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interested in it just for myself. My dad had a book that I
Mm-hmm.
read off his shelf at about grade 10,
Mm.
and that turned into studying world religions and ethics and philosophy at
Sure.
uni,
Mm.
alongside my dance and drama uh,
Mm.
as my two majors as a high school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got into school, I taught a variety of subjects in the humanities, arts, and philosophy
Right.
and
Yeah.
sport,
Mm.
everything except science and maths.
Yeah,
But
of
then
course.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
go
Yeah.
on.
No, of course, and but that's the age and that's the time that your moments are when you wanted to, do something, but then you're doing something. And when you think this is I like, this is I don't like, or what, likes, dislikes, everything comes along in that
Yeah.
process. But then you will get also influenced by your near and dear ones or the near ones that we
Mm,
always interact, that we always have connections,
mm,
and we always like your friend, you got into it. But I wanted to touch on this when you talked about religions, different religions. So unless and until you talk with and interact with another person, you don't know what that person's mindset, what that
mm.
person's upbringing. But then you are embracing and you are knowing more about everything in the world or
Yeah.
trying to know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I wanted to one day elaborate with you in terms of, people. I had a topic called religion versus spirituality because
Mm,
first is we are spirits before even we are religious or religion,
mm.
or we can create a religion of our own
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yes.
You don't have to be traditionally, following the religion because your parents and parents and ancestors told you to
Mm,
follow that. That is one, like a subconscious way of following.
yeah.
But then you can create your own religion as well in
Mm,
my world. You
mm,
can also create your own concepts in my world. Concepts are created by humans, and
mm.
concepts are created to be implemented, not just to be witnessed, right? And so this is something that we can touch on it. But go on with that aspect of your moment when you had a friend came along in your life
Yeah.
that was of different religion, and then you turned into your own mindsets or
Mm.
embracing your own mindsets. How did you move on from there? What was
Mm.
your, learnings or knowledge increasing, I call it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that. It's exactly, I can picture the boxes we were talking about and my
Mhm.
mindset as, we learn what our parents teach us and what we grow up with our culture and our wider
Yep.
community. And it was like that box just got blown. The edges of my box were like, whoa, people see the world
Mm.
totally different to
Totally
me, and I
different.
didn't
Yeah.
even know. And
Mm.
that's kind of scary
Mm.
and intimidating. And I think sometimes it's tempting to want to close that box back up and just be like, this is what I know. But I was like, right, I need to get to the bottom of this. So then I spent the next, well, what, from 15 to 20, so the next 5 years
Mm-hmm.
on my own personal journey, as well as obviously studying it,
Yeah.
um, and my own personal study. But it was a beautiful thing for me. I learned a lot.
Mm.
I had some beautiful teachings in
Mm.
leadership from a young age, and my dad
Right.
ran a few youth programs
Oh,
that
great.
gave me a lot of skills to unpack
Mm.
um, how I think, how others think, and how to
Mm.
communicate in groups. And that was really quite fun for me. I found that really entertaining in my mind because I thought maybe the reason I love drama so much or the theater is to understand the psychology of people. That really interests me. So I found this
Correct.
crossover
Mm.
of the parts of me,
Mm.
and I went into teaching at university as well, was studying teaching. I came across more worldviews within the Christian faith. There was all the different denominations, and that threw me through a loop again. And I had to take the risk and trust. My favorite line from the book I read in grade 10 off my dad's
Mm.
shelf
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
was Five Major World Religions. And in the
Wow.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
the author says, basically that it's a line that expresses trust in the
Mm-hmm.
truth. The
Oh,
truth
yeah.
will arise. I
Will
don't have to
prevail.
write
Yeah.
with any
Mm.
bias
Mm.
or speak with any bias. I
Mm.
translate
Mm.
that to my teaching that
Great.
what we do is we look at how other people think.
Mm.
And exactly what you said before was so beautiful that
Mm.
we hear people's stories and we glean wisdom from it. And oh, that's a different way of seeing it. That's a different way of seeing it.
Mm.
And even though it was very hard at those points when I was 14 and 19 to face
Yeah.
myself and
Mm-hmm.
challenge myself and accept those questions,
Mm.
it was amazing because I found such a freedom and a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and understanding of other people and how to be able to hold the tension of seeing things differently and not, I think humility is the beginning of wisdom and going, I
Yeah.
don't know.
No,
Actually,
but
I don't.
I think being you in your inner voice or in your inner self, you already have embedded in you the creative or the creative or the performer. And I can see that as a performer, then you want to interact, you want to play different roles, you want to put into different characters. And that
Mm,
itself gives you that, upper hand to understand the world better.
mm,
I personally feel because I
right.
myself am a creative. I
Yeah.
love singing as well, but now I'm a bathroom singer, so don't quote me on it.
We can change
But
that.
but I used to sing and I used to have emceeing the stage musical shows and stuff. And I
Yeah.
still involved in the creative world. Like as I said, I'm creating a film festival, I'm creating cultural exchange programs. This is what I love. Last year I did the movie premiere, first red carpet event in New Zealand from an Indian movie premiere. And these I'm involved and I love interacting with different cultures, different colors, scream just like rainbow. I love rainbow. Otherwise, there is no rainbow, right? But
Yes.
the most important part I wanted to ask you was like you being a performer, I really relate to you that when you interact, you gain knowledge, you create wisdom for your own. But then, in that regard, I want to ask you because this is also for some of the listeners who probably have gained knowledge, but then are they distributing their knowledge? Are they sharing their knowledge? Are they, even interacting their knowledge with someone else? That's the key
Yeah.
point. You know why and how. So it
Yes.
again comes back to that.
I love it. The why and the how. Yes, because and that actually brings me to guess I guess
Hmm.
the next major milestone, which is where I have been the last couple of years, is
Hmm.
the phrase rediscovering myself as an
Oh,
artist.
wow. Yes,
So
beautiful.
yeah, I went down the track of
Hmm.
teaching and I taught for over 10 years now. I've been in
Hmm.
schools and in different programs, and I founded and ran my own theatre company for a while in there,
Great.
and a
Hmm.
dance studio. So it was all this
Hmm.
backbone stuff, and it was about making sure that as artists,
Hmm.
the people in my cast and crew and in my
Hmm.
teams, they were feeling like they had a really solid, safe space to come back to and to create out of. And so
Absolutely. Hmm.
that to me is still really important wherever I go, whether it's personally or it's a team. But
Hmm.
when I went through a major life shift and a divorce 4 years ago, and
Hmm.
that was a process, of course, where I had to reassess everything, rebuild a lot of things
Yes,
from
of course.
scratch. And in that, that was that phrase that came to me is
Hmm.
remember yourself as an artist. And I was like, what? That's a long gone dream. Like,
That was one role you had to play in your life.
yeah. And I was so convinced of it at one point. But when I let it go at around that probably, no, it was when I decided to go teaching, to have the
Hmm.
credentials behind me to do what I wanted to do in starting a theatre company.
Right.
That's when I let go, I guess, of the idea of being on stage myself.
Hmm.
And I did do an
Right.
internship. I did work in the theatre for a year,
Wow.
and myself performing, and I loved it. It was a dream, and I always thought of it as my indulgent year.
Right, 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 right.
And then I thought, why am I saying that to myself? Like, I'm not allowing myself to do what I really love because I feel I should do this.
Absolutely. Because when
And
you
I,
said rediscovering yourself, it's a very profound statement that
yeah,
every human has to be in that shoes to rediscover themselves. And they can keep discovering and rediscovering every single moment, nothing
mm,
stopping you from that. There is
and
no perfect timing. Every time is a perfect for rediscovering.
that's so true
Yeah,
because it comes back to that how as well
absolutely. Mm,
of it doesn't mean that I let go of myself because I hadn't performed for a few years.
mm,
But there might have been moments where I did self-abandon, and there's
mhm,
things in there where it's like reclaiming, but a lot of it was timing as well and trusting my journey, which is
mhm.
why I resonated with your statement on purpose is
Yep.
is a process that
Yeah.
I
And
actually the how was I took myself away and I went and stayed at a unit down the Gold Coast for 2 nights, and
mhm.
I just put on all the old songs that I used to belt out in my
Wow.
living room. And when I was 5 or under 5, I was young. I was very young, and I learned the whole Bodyguard album of Whitney Houston because it's the only one my parents had, and I thought it was amazing.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
learned from the best, learned from Whitney, and
Oh, great. Hmm.
busting it out in my Echo microphone. And I was like, you know what? I'll go back to that and just go back to who I was before the world influenced me in any way, before any pain, before any
Hmm.
challenges, before any
Hmm.
influences. And
Hmm.
that was singing in my living room to no one. Didn't matter if anyone was watching or not. I loved it.
Exactly. It's for you, you are doing. You are your own audience.
Yes.
That's the
And
remember that.
that's it. And that
First and
was,
foremost, you are the own remind. Whenever people get bogged down in today's digital world or social media world, they always talk about, hey, how many likes did you get? Hey,
mm,
how many thumbs up you got? Hey, how many
mm,
presents you get online? All that stuff is no use
no,
because one person matters. It doesn't matter how many. It's one person can make a difference. You don't need 100,000, 5,000, 10,000. No,
yes.
they don't mean anything. And
I,
before when I said to you that, every moment is important and every moment is your right moment,
mm,
because we all as a humans, because we are talking about humans to human, we all
mm,
humans have one thing to understand that we have come in this universe and we have to remember that we have limited time here and we have very uncertain time here.
mm,
And it's not unlimited that we think, and it's not, what we think that we can do it later, 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 because there is no later, there is only now, and there is only now. So I've written some of the quotes. You might like it or you might love it if you want to hear it from me,
Yes,
Lizzie.
absolutely.
And then I can share it with you. So this is something that the first thing I wrote was when I was very young. You have to remember that time is a gift, not something you are entitled to.
Mm,
And no matter how hard you try, you can't control it. The
mm,
only thing you can do is choose how to spend the time you are given. So make sure you are celebrating every moment you get. This is what I'm celebrating today with Lizzie, with you. And
yes,
all the listeners, they should listen to this as well.
yes.
The second one that I wrote was the greatest gift you can give someone is your time. Because when you give your time, you are giving a portion of your life that you will never ever get back. So this
Yeah,
moment is our moment. This
yeah.
moment is our beautiful moment to give to each other.
Mm,
Your mind is a powerful thing. Fill it with always positive thought. That's why I call it NZ World News Positive. My media is all about positive. Don't talk
mm-hmm.
about negative. There are
Yeah,
other people who can talk. The other side of the section can talk negative.
yeah.
We are the one who are on the positive side. If they think they are positive, that's fine. So be it. Let them live and let them enjoy. Now, the next one I wrote was no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The hardest thing in life is to know which bridge to cross and which to burn. And that's our decision. We don't have to depend on
Ooh,
others.
that's a good one. A hard one to learn,
Yeah,
but
a hard one to learn. That's a beautiful, very well said. I was also in that boat once, so I did learn out of that. What's meant to be will always find a way. You don't have to get
mm,
stuck. What's
I
meant to
love
be
that.
will
I love
always
that.
find a way. Now,
Yes.
this is something humorously I wrote because I'm a little bit, I love humor. I don't like to have serious. Everything is for me enjoyment, okay? Moment,
Yeah.
every moment.
Yes.
So life is a waste of time that people say when, oh, why are you doing? It's a waste of time. So I say to them, life is a waste of time and time is a waste of life. So waste your time and have the time of your life.
Ah, I
How's
love
that?
it. Put that down. That's going in my next song.
All right, lovely. Now, the another one is give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. So, give every
Oh,
day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. And this one you will love it. This is how I ended myself. And this is a reminder to me all the time whenever I get stuck or whenever I want to navigate anything from any field. I
mm,
remember these quotes of my own. So, this is something, the last one you will like it. Live your life, take chances, be crazy, don't wait, because right now is the oldest you have ever been and the youngest you will be ever again. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. This is what we are doing today, Lizzie.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Taking the moment and making it perfect.
Yes, I
Not
love
worrying about what's going to come next moment. This is the moment that we
it.
want to make
Yeah.
it the most. So these are some of the concepts that I kept reminding myself whenever I get stuck or whenever I feel that I can't do these, or should I do it or should I not do it? Why waste
Mm.
time? Why delay? Why procrastinate? Just make it, do it. Nothing
Yeah.
stops you, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
And a
these
lot
are,
of the times, the things that stop us are those likes.
yeah,
Whether they're literal or in person, it's
yeah,
fear of judgment, fear of getting
fear.
it wrong. And if we just go, hang on,
Mm,
doesn't matter. Just enjoy. I love that. Make
yeah, just
make
enjoy.
the moment, enjoy it.
Yeah, we always have a pretend, and I live on these three principles of life, when we are born or when we are not even born, right? What have we learned inside that when we researchers say, doctors say, scientists say, is what we do inside is get dependent because we are dependent when we are inside.
Mm,
And then when we come out, we become independent.
right.
right? So this is
Yeah.
a lesson for me all the time. And I say to people that, we come with the inborn talent of dependency when we are inside and when we come out. The
Mm.
sooner you become independent, the
Mm.
sooner you can create your own journey the way
Yeah.
you want, rather than
Yeah.
a dependent journey. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
I love that. And to add to that, my
Mhm.
latest learnings have been around really fine-tuning what interdependence looks like.
Yeah, yeah,
And in a world that's crying out for what is healthy relationships,
that's correct.
human to human,
Absolutely.
it boils
Agreed.
down to that, doesn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. And so the three principle I was talking about is like, what does human do? We are talking about humans today and humanity
Mm,
and everything. Like, we'll touch on a few things soon as well. I wanted to talk like about first and foremost is what does human do? We talked about why do we have to do, we talked about how we can do it, that all this question. But what, what do humans are more inclined to do? This is also very valid for every human. What do we do? So we do three things. Either we accumulate, now that can be anything. Either we accumulate people around us, either we accumulate material things, either we accumulate anything, but we accumulate. This is our
mm,
tendency. The second thing humans do very frequently is follow. Either we follow your own belief, or you follow somebody else's belief, or you
mhm.
follow somebody else, but you follow. You keep following, you keep following. This is the
Yeah.
second one that humans do. Another thing humans do is, we either accumulate, follow, and we also do what we say is accumulate, follow, and then rather than what there was another one that I always think about that we humans are very easy to do.
Consume?
No, not consume. Consume is like accumulation.
Oh, yeah.
Following, and then there is another third one. It's like following as well. It is like
Mm,
following as well. But what do humans really are born, or what is their purpose?
mm.
Is to create.
Create. I knew you were going to say create. That
Yeah.
was my guess. I got an
Yeah.
A.
Yeah, yeah. We follow, we accumulate, but then we are supposed to create. We are
Yeah.
supposed to create, recreate, collaborate, co-collaborate. This is what we are
Yes.
supposed to do. Because if you look at in real life as a humans, many humans in our past that we talk about is we only talk about those humans who have created something. Let's
Mm,
look at it logically. Let's look at it as a common sensely that
mm,
why do we remember humans? Oh, because they created light, or because they created this computer, or because they created this phone, and
mm.
that we all can use, or they created pen, or they created many creations were
True.
created.
True.
And
Yeah.
we talk about them rather
Yeah.
than the people who follow, or
Mm,
rather than people who accumulate. We
mhm,
don't talk about them because that's their personal thing. We
mm,
follow, accumulate. That's not what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to do create and only create, right? So
mm.
that's why we are also creators. If we can talk about creators who did something in the past, or that we follow those creators,
Yeah.
then we ourselves are creators. Why don't we create something that can be a legacy for the next and the current and the next generation?
Yes.
Sense?
It does. Yes.
Do you agree with
Absolutely.
my principles and concepts of living life,
I
Lizzie?
do. I do. I think that it's really valuable to consider because I guess the reason why the word consume comes in my mind because I've been playing with that idea of less
Mhm.
consuming, more creativity.
Correct. That's
And
it.
that's
And
sort of,
because you will understand, because you are a creative inborn, so you will understand this.
yes, but also I think about those who aren't creative and I think about um, aren't creative in inverted commas because everyone is creative. And that's something I feel strongly about with my teacher hat on, is that it's not just teaching dance or art or music or media or drama or any of those arts subjects, but it's all, every human has creativity in them. And I especially loved having that highlighted when I met somebody who was in computer programming
Mhm.
and seeing how they
How do
define
they create?
themselves
Yeah.
as creative.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's
The third
incredible.
one I missed out was I just recollected me.
Mm,
The humans do is accumulate, they follow, and then they also chase, like, so
chasing.
chasing
Instead
their
of
dreams,
creating the
like
opportunity
chasing
or
your own dreams or chasing somebody else's dreams, and
yeah.
then chase. So these three things are very subconsciously done by human,
Mm, mm,
following, chasing, and then accumulating. It's
yeah.
very easy to be done. But then, is it really like your life as a human? If you really get any satisfaction out of it, people say, yeah, I do like to say in my name 10 properties, 100 properties, or 10 computers, 10 cars. I like that in my name. That's what they
Mhm.
say. But then, have you created those? You have taken someone who has created. What have you created?
Interesting. Yeah.
See, it's like giving a child a toy
Yeah.
and say, play with it, and he loves playing.
Mm.
But then he one day decides, if this toy is walking like this, why don't he walks like that? I should create that. That is
Yes.
the creation. That's what we want everyone to do. You can,
Yeah.
does that make sense now?
Yes, it does. And that's why I wrote my own song and recorded and
Love it. I
released
would
it.
love one day to. We should probably create immediately some programs for New Zealand and for the worldwide. I'm happy to be a part of it. I would love to support and
Oh,
create
thank you.
something. No,
Yeah.
I mean it because I love musical. I love singers because they are the real soul. You
Yeah.
know, they are the real soul.
I
That
love that. I really, because I grew up feeling so connected to soul music. That is
exactly.
exactly, it's an expression of your soul, of the
Mm,
deepest parts of who you are
absolutely, absolutely.
through a creative expression that you can't
Mm,
get without music. Like it just does the something.
mm,
And it was interesting tying into what we said before, because in writing my own song, I wrote it for me.
mm,
And I didn't think it was going to go anywhere or I was going to do anything particularly with it. But being a perfectionist myself and wanting to being raised to create excellence, and I was like, I'm going to do this properly. If I'm going to do
mm,
this, I'm going to do it properly and
mm.
record it on the best mic I can find and get the producer that's right for the product and
Mm,
release it properly and go through the whole process. And it was a beautiful experience. I took a whole year to do it. And I
mhm.
started hearing people go, oh, you better get another song out in 3 months. Oh, it's every 3 months a new song. It's like, no, I'm not doing it to jump on that rat race.
Exactly.
I'm doing it
That
for
is called
me.
like chasing or following. We don't want to create our mindset on that. No, no.
Yeah.
You are
And
absolutely 100%
been
right
the
on that.
greatest because now I'm so forever proud of that work for
Mm,
myself. And if it touches one person, if it moves their soul, if it brings some inspiration or it brings some kind of revelation or feeling even of being seen or heard or in the
mm,
song, whatever it is, it's now out there in the world. And that has been a beautiful gift for me to give and to do that journey of
mm.
releasing it to the world for
Yeah.
something more. And I just performed it live last week for the first time.
Oh, wow. You should come and perform in New Zealand.
Oh, yes, I'll be
That's
there.
great.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
great.
It was
Yeah.
amazing, amazing to get feedback and see it
Hmm.
take a life of its own
Mm,
and how other people see the song. Oh, I could see that there. One person said, I could see that at like the opening of the Olympic Games kind of thing. Is that what you wrote it for? And I was like, what?
mm,
Thank you. And I'll take the compliment, but no, I just wrote it for myself. It was my own, and it
mm,
was probably the most authentic thing that I've created
mhm.
from just for me and then passing it over to the world, to others to go,
Absolutely.
whatever it can be and mean to you.
Mm.
I,
Fantastic.
yeah.
I would love to be a big part of your journey. If you, yeah, we can become each part's journey. Now, coming on to that humanity that we started as a candid conversation today, really,
Mm.
I want to know what's your concepts of life? Like, what do you mean by life? Or how do you define life?
Ooh, I love it. There's a, there's a,
Your definition. Now, what's your way of thinking? I want to
yeah,
click on that.
yeah. I'm not sure I'll get it exactly right, but there's an old book called
Hmm.
something along the lines of How to Play the Game of Life.
Yeah,
Do
because
you
we
know?
talked about creation, right? Just now,
Yeah.
humans should be creative. So when humans
Yeah.
should be creative, then how does human define life? Because every human has got, as I said, like the tendency of human, for them, life means accumulating, chasing, following. These are the
Mm,
things that they do. But then you and I can see creation is the only option that human has because they have the
mm,
potential and the skill and the caliber and the ultimate unlimited potential which
yes.
cannot be matched. So
Oh, I have my answer.
tell me.
As you're speaking, I'm thinking
Hmm.
I was walking around the headland at this beautiful beach when I came to this epiphany because I was raised, as I said, in the church, and I was
Hmm.
raised to have a purpose, to love others, to look after those less fortunate than us,
True.
um, to seek to give and serve and live a meaningful life. And I took that to the extreme in my younger years of
This is
serving to the point
beautiful.
of burnout, as a lot of people do in that position.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then I came back and I was on this walk around the headland, and I was saying to one of my close friends, I think there's got to be more to life than just trying to always
Mm,
give and strive and do and achieve um and be this thing we have to be, aiming for the best version of ourselves, giving self-sacrificially. And then I remembered
mm,
um one of the verses that I actually loved was, or just the concept about heaven and the idea of spending eternity enjoying God. And I
mm,
thought of that, and this was the epiphany. It was like, if that is how heaven's described,
mm-hmm.
and that is, the concept of heaven starts now, heaven on earth
Oh,
is
wow,
now,
beautiful.
that is not part of our purpose, or if not a main part of our purpose, to
Mm,
enjoy
mm,
God, life, creativity, all that comes with it. Even if you're not religious, they are taking the word God out of it, but to enjoy what we have, our connection with each other, ourselves, the world, nature, and the divine, to me, is the four
mm.
pillars that I believe life is about, is
No,
connecting.
I agree to a lot of extent, but if I have to, if you have to ask me, I've got only one simple answer to that is whatever I've understood so far in my journey is like we always have to, because we talked about create. So I always like to create moments and
Mm,
live those moments. Creating is one side of the coin, but living the
yes.
moment is the other side of the coin.
Yes, 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 yes. I
And this
love
is
it.
exactly like reading the book and understanding the book. You can read 100 books, but have you understood a single book out of it? That's the main thing.
Yes. And it was my a friend who actually said to me about my song. My song is called Just Be, and it was the
Wow.
process of when you have come through a testing period of time and you can finally just be. No more striving. You can put the pen down, you can relax for a minute, you can just be and come
Mhm.
back to yourself and have a moment with yourself. And um and then he said to me, because I was looking at trying to get another song out, and he said, I don't think you're quite done with Just Be. I was like, oh, what do you mean by that? And it resonated. So I was like, there's something in that, and I think I need to create
Yeah,
around this and
around it.
not get swept up in what the world might think I should create next, or anyone's opinion on what I should create next. But that line from my friend sat deep, and I thought, okay, what is it? And so I started creating again and going, forget the boxes of what I should create. What does my soul want to create out of Just Be? What does Just Be mean to me? And that's formed this whole next season of things that I've created with courses and retreats and
Wow.
different
Okay.
platforms and spaces, safe
Mhm.
spaces to help other people just,
Yeah,
and
I
also
like that aspect because helping other people is completely aligns with the topic that we have chosen today is the humanity or the human to
mm,
human connection.
human to human. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
With,
that's where I
mm,
found when you just said um living it. I
Mm.
had produced the song, and then
Mm-hmm.
if I were to move on, it
Mm-hmm.
was like what he said about, I don't think you're done yet. I really stepped into living it. Like, let me enjoy my own song and let me
True.
enjoy all the things that this song could mean and all the ways it could go and play with the concept of just be. And it doesn't need to be a passing thing. It could actually be something I continue to mull over and work with, and it become a big part of what I bring back to the world now that I'm reassessing my life purpose and
Rediscovering. I love it.
rediscovering myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So true. So let's talk about, I want to touch on this on purpose because we
Mm.
are meeting, we are discussing this candid conversation, and so I can talk anything under the sun. Uh,
Yes.
not offensive language or offending anyone, but what I wanted to do is real concepts of human aspects. And, we always talk about what is required for our existence. When we talk
Mm,
about existence, first and foremost, do we exist
mm,
or are we awake? We call
yeah.
it. Are
Yeah.
we awake or are we just sleeping and ignoring and denying that
Yeah.
whatever is happening around us? When you talk about humanity, you want to help each other, you want to support each other. But if
Mm,
you ignore, if you are in
mm,
denial, then you don't do
mm.
anything. And so
Exactly.
what is human life is all about, or our existence is all about. So when I talked about existence myself, when I looked at it,
Mm,
I have got people always telling, since a childhood I grew up, I was told, air, water, fire, earth, space, five elements, these are our existence element.
mm,
And for once I said, I don't want to know about them. And people got angry, including my mom, dad, my siblings, my
mm,
friends. Why do you say that?
mm,
These are our five existence elements.
mm.
And I said, what do I do with it? I
Yeah.
can't edit them. I can't change them. I can't modify them, nor can I delete. So they mean nothing to me. I
Mm,
want those elements to understand since I've come into this universe. There are many things. Why pick only five elements of those? There are many things I can create elements, or I can understand the elements that are required for my day to day, every moment to exist.
mm-hmm.
They don't tell me that every moment you exist is because of them. I need to tell myself, why do I exist?
Mm,
Every moment, what makes me exist? I need to understand that from my own. So
yeah.
here are some of my five elements I discovered at a very young age when the people talked about these five elements: air, water, fire, earth,
Mm,
space. I said, no, I don't want to know. So then they asked me, what is your elements? Well, the first and foremost element I understood was we have a constant change happening inside us, around us, and everywhere. We can't see something, we can't see many things, we can only see something, but they are happening. Happening is going on. That much I believe it's happening going on because it comes and affects us, it comes and impacts us. And the happening is also is our in our thoughts. Look at our thoughts. They keep coming to us, they keep changing, they keep telling us, you do this now, you do this later, you don't do this, you don't do that. They keep telling us. So what is that? Is constant change happening
mm,
inside us and outside us. That's became my number one element is constant change. To
mm,
understand my moments, to understand my existence.
yeah.
Then the inner voice came to me and said, when I asked it, okay, I've understood the constant change is happening, but what do I do with it?
Yeah.
As I always ask this question, what's
Yeah.
the next part?
Why and how?
Ah,
Why?
and how? So they said to me, inner voice told me, yeah, you just accept it just the way it is happening. Don't worry, don't analyze, don't waste your time and energy in analyzing. Just accept it.
Yes.
When you accept your own changes, you
Yeah.
accept everyone's changes. And that's a
Ooh,
beautiful moment
I like
that you
that.
understand. And that's
Yeah.
why relationships fail because they don't understand the changes of others. They only understand or they want to know only from their point of view. Whereas when you
Mm-hmm.
accept your own mind, now
Mm-hmm.
I started, when I accepted the changes, I also accepted everyone's around me, the changes. But I also told my thoughts, hey, you can keep coming me and telling me, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to choose you. You can't tell me.
Yes.
I'm going to choose you what I want to choose from your thoughts.
Mm,
That was become a game changer for in my life journey.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that became my number one element, constant change. And
Love it.
the number two element that I came to know was we all humans have a subconscious and a conscious mind. And what is subconscious? Well, I understood at that time that subconscious is nothing but a breathe in and a breathe out process
Mm.
because you cannot
That's
control.
yes, that's how I
Ah,
explained it to my 11-year-old last week.
great. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Same
But,
link.
but the good thing is, we humans have been given the power to hold our breath. Now, when we hold our breath, even for 1 minute or 1 second or 30 seconds, everyone has got a limit of holding their breath, but
Mm.
they can. And that's their
Mm.
conscious mind.
I like that.
And what we do as a human is put all our energy and resource into the subconscious mind, which you don't have to. You only have to put all your energy and resource into the conscious mind when we
Mm.
hold it. When you
Right.
hold it.
Yeah.
It may be only for a minute. That's fine.
Yeah.
That 1 minute can make a huge impact difference to your life and to
Yeah.
others. That's
Yeah.
all it matters, right? So that became subconscious and conscious understanding of subconscious and conscious process of our human journey. But then that also gave me an opening and clarification that in our life, we have receiving and giving. So when we receive, we don't ask for it, but we get everything. We even get whatever we don't want, but we want it, but we get it. But we
Yeah.
have to choose. Just like I told my thoughts, I will choose you. Now
Yeah.
I have to choose my receivings and my givings. But the reality is, receiving and giving is exactly like breathe in and breathe out process. You cannot
Mm.
say, I will only receive, and you cannot say, I will only give, because you cannot say, I will only breathe in, and you cannot say, I will only breathe out. You have to do both to survive, to exist.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that became my go-to element, subconscious, conscious, receiving, giving, and then breathe in, breathe out, and then just holding the breath. So that
Mm.
became my life journey element to understand whatever I am doing. Am I doing the right way? Am I putting my energy resource into the conscious mind when I'm doing, or I'm doing consciously, or I'm doing subconsciously?
Yes.
Because subconsciously, you don't have to do anything. Everything is tells you to do automatically. It's an automatic.
Absolutely. And before you know it, you're down a path you never chose or didn't want to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. The number three element, Lizzie, this is you will love it because number three element is all about humans. It's all about human journey, but also we are so, I call it stupid, I call it idiots, I call it fool to humans who say we are living beings, even though we are living beings. But we put living beings on top of humanity, on top of
Mm.
humans. And
Mm.
I don't do that. I say we are first humans,
Mm.
then comes gender, then comes living beings. Because when you put living beings as first for humans, then you start comparing. Because then you start
How
comparison,
you live.
and then you start,
Mm.
like plants, animals, insects, they are also living beings.
Right.
Then you want to become like them, you want to compare with yourself like that.
Right.
So,
Mm.
because there are two different parts of living beings. Human beings itself is a human being, and other living beings are living beings. Humans are not living beings. Humans are just like sun, just like moon, just like earth, just like
Nothing
fire,
look like
just
it.
like space.
Right.
They are exactly like that. You don't
Mm.
have to analyze them. Whereas the other living beings, plants, animals, insects, trees, they have a definite activity to perform. They cannot be unlimited.
Mm.
They have to only perform that bit. Whereas,
Okay.
whereas
Okay. I see where
humans,
you're going. Yep. Yep.
humans are unlimited,
Yeah.
infinite, indefinite.
Yes.
That's
That's
why
that
you have to
creativity. Yep.
That's why you have to tell yourself every moment, hey, I am not stuck. I cannot say I can't do this. When people come to me and say, Shalish, I can't do this. This first time I'm doing. I said, look back and see yourself. You have done everything first time. And there is nothing. And you are a human being, not a
Yes.
living being. When you start comparing your living being, then living being has got a limited option,
Mm, mm.
whereas
Okay.
human being has unlimited option. That's why they say we don't know where humans go, where humans come from, and where do they do, and where do they exist. So we don't have to know about it. We just have to understand that human beings have infinite,
Yeah.
indefinite kind of journey, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my and my last element. This is also you will like it. So that's why it is definite, indefinite, infinite, infinite.
Mm,
But also the last element, when I ask myself, what am I supposed to do in this planet? Why am I supposed to live with around me plants, animals, insects, trees, other humans, the sun, moon, galaxies? What are all this? What is my purpose? How
mm,
do I interact with them, and what is my role? And even though I cannot interact with everyone, so what is my role? What am I supposed to do? The
mm,
answer came, natural disasters happen in the universe.
mm,
And when natural disasters happen, whether volcanoes, earthquakes, thunderstorm, all of that, tsunami, you call it, they reset on their own. How do they
mm,
reset? This is the question came to me.
mm.
What is their purpose? Why did they have to do the destructions?
Yeah.
What was their purpose? So this is the same question when I was asking, what is my purpose? Why am I supposed to live with all
Mm,
these things? The answer came, don't worry about, again, don't analyze. Just understand that you are here to create, collaborate, co-collaborate, because these tsunami, these earthquake, these everything, they are creations. And when they
mm.
are creations, they are also go on their own. They are resetting on their own. We
Yeah.
can't pinpoint. And people may argue, people may justify, people may defend, people may say, oh no, we are all energies. But here is a question I asked to my mom. What is energy?
Mm,
And why we want, even we can't see energy, who described this energy? Where did it
mm,
came from?
mm,
And so they said that the energy is sun. The sun is the source of energy.
mm.
So I asked my mom at that time, sillily, if sun is the source of energy, why we don't say woman is the source of all humans when we can see woman? I have siblings, so that means you
Yeah.
are source of all humans, irrespective of male, female, doesn't matter.
Mm,
That question boggled everyone. Till
yeah.
date, I don't have an answer to that, but I did International Women's Day event. And
Mm,
in that, I asked this same question to all the women.
mm.
That give me an answer that why does you don't acknowledge that woman is the source of all humans? Then we won't have this woman empowerment, discrimination. We won't have all this. The day we all recognize, just like the sun, we recognize as a source of energy,
Yeah.
we need to recognize woman is the source of all humans. Then all this ill feeling, all this negativity, all
Mm,
this superiority, inferiority, discrimination will go away.
mm, mm.
That is one thing I realized. So my answer, my last element, as I said, like we are here to create, co-create, collaborate. This is our purpose.
Mm.
So that's where I could do many things, as you said. We are many interests we can develop in ourselves,
Yeah.
multi-purpose, and
Yes.
we can implement. And that is our journey. We are
Yes.
not here to be labeled or to be given a certificate by anyone. We are here to certify ourselves, our existence. We are
Yes.
not here to certify anyone or depend on anyone's certification.
Mm. And I
Our
think,
own. Yeah.
yeah, that takes bravery
Exactly.
and courage to face the whys and challenge the hows and implement your own ideas and back yourself. That,
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
mm,
in a nutshell, you got what is Shailesh talking about? What is talking about humanity, humans? Let these were my all my things that I was wanting to put it out to you that as a human to human connection,
mm,
we create our own concepts, we develop our own understanding, and then we implement it. because
Mm,
reading is one side, implementing is another side, understanding is another side. Just
mm,
like we have a day and night, we have to acknowledge every single aspect, every single moment have two sides.
yeah.
It cannot be one-sided.
I
Otherwise,
like.
there is no clap, right?
Yeah. So good.
So tell me, what do you now want to compile from on it? But I think we should do a lot of topics on this. But as a humans, and this episode that we are
Mm,
doing today, just candidly, conversely, just
yeah.
expressing ourselves. And
Yeah.
that's what everybody who is listening to us also should express, I personally
Yeah.
feel. What's your thoughts on this? And what do you think that whoever is listening to our conversation, what do they can take out of it, or what do they should be self-discovering, as you said, rediscovering, self-discovering, and you can
Mm,
do it at any stages of life too. It doesn't have a moment of doing. Every moment is a great moment. As
yeah. And I think of that, one of the phrases that I like to live my life by now is
Mhm.
to create a life that I love to live.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
that's probably what I would like to say to those who are listening is to create a life that you love to live. And that starts with knowing who you are on the inside. And I think at times we go through phases and only you know where you're at
Mhm.
and whether you need to be giving out at that time or turning inward and focusing inward. And
Mhm.
I think there's a dance that we do, and it's not always outward, it's not always inwards, but having that balance of knowing that to show up in community and human to human and be able to interact from
Mhm.
those healthy places and to be able to, whether it's in a leadership role or in our interactions with our children or our peers or our friends or our family members, that we can show up authentically if we back ourselves and know
Absolutely.
ourselves and know what we need,
Mhm.
so we can be that completely independent. We've achieved independence, and then we can move on to healthy interdependence, and we can
Beautiful.
be able to create and co-create and collaborate. Some of my favorite words as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why we get on.
Yeah, but I want to touch on this and to listeners to listen to you on this one last question, which I thought would be quite relevant to everyone because you are doing multifaceted. As we talked about, multi-human journey is not stuck with one thing or other, only one thing. So when you see you are a dancer, you are a performer, you are an actor, you are a singer, you got many things, and then you are mother or you do a lot of things in your outside the skill. And I have this question, Lizzie, as a child or as a layman, many people think, hey, what are you doing all these things? You are not focused. You should be
Mm,
only focused on one thing and you should
mm,
only achieve that. And it's a very like a stupid, I feel, that type of question, because I feel, why should I be restricted to only one thing? So,
yeah.
in your view, when people ask this question and people think that because you're doing multiple things, that means you are not focused, that means you don't achieve the way you want to achieve, and that's why you lack in achieving. I don't know. The definition of achievement for everyone who thinks like that is different. But
Mm,
tell me something from your experience point of view. Is it too bad, or is it like very hard, or is it like um, not to do multiple things and only do one thing? How do you see this
mm,
as
mm.
to all the listeners to who want to tell them so
That's
that
right.
they cannot get stuck into just doing one thing? I'm only singer, I can't dance. I'm only this, I can't do this.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's not what it is. Tell me about your views on that.
sure. Well, I guess that last point you made was exactly what I told myself when I went in to write my own song. And
Right.
well, I wrote it because I normally write journals and poetry, and I thought I'll just write it in the right format. It can't be too
Mhm.
hard to follow the format of a song.
Mhm.
And I thought, I am just a singer. I'm just a songwriter. Like, I can't play any music. I'm not enough. And I think that's such a common thread for all of us.
Absolutely.
Many humans
Mhm.
struggle
Correct.
with that feeling of I am not enough, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And
No, no,
in
you're right.
for you, yeah. And for me at the time, it's had different meanings over the years, but at that point it was about being a singer or a songwriter. I'm not enough because I don't play an instrument well enough to perform, which I'm working on.
Mm.
But, and again, that then answers the question that you asked of, did I stop and go back to zero in on one thing? No,
Mm.
I wanted
Mm.
to learn how to play piano and guitar, so I got a secondhand piano and I got a cheap guitar and I taught
Yeah.
myself.
Wow.
And
Mm.
then that leads to the, is that splitting my attention?
Mm.
And I have been told that before by people who
Mhm.
think in the boxes and like the boxes
Correct.
and the school system that I
Yeah.
went through and taught in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, do less things well. And I do live by that principle in a sense. However, I also acknowledged and learned as a teacher, especially with different learning styles rather.
Mm.
And in as a teacher, you learn to differentiate the classroom. You have to teach to 30 kids that all have different learning styles. Some are more kinesthetic, auditory, visual,
Mm.
and you create all the elements to teach the same concept in 5 different ways or multiple different ways to kind of make sure everyone can grasp it.
Mm.
Then I realized that I am a multifaceted, multi-passionate person,
Yeah.
multi-purpose, and I don't fit those boxes for a reason.
Mm.
So as soon as I stopped trying to fit the boxes, I was actually more productive
Yeah.
by allowing myself to do multiple things at my pace. And that's the difference. It doesn't look like, I've had a song out every 3 months for the last 2 years. But what I've done behind the scenes and what I've done in my life is redefine what success looks like.
Mm.
And I'm happy, I'm giving, I'm healthy, and I am loving the life. I've created a life that I love to live. And it doesn't always fit the boxes, but I think in terms of what boxes I actually want to tick, which are those I'm contributing to society in meaningful ways. I feel a sense of purpose. I like who I am in the process. I am happy in the quiet and still moments when it's just me. And I have healthy and strong connections. And
Yeah.
those are the things that I would say to those listening is to know yourself and to know how you work. And don't be afraid to
Mm.
stand up for yourself, back yourself. That's what I told myself. I've got to back myself. I
Mm.
know that I work best when I do
Mm.
multiple things and
Mm.
it all rises together. I have a song and I have a course and I have a this and I teach and I have a mum and I do this and I do that. And
Mm.
I'm doing it all in a way that works for me. And I pop a bit into that and I pop a bit into that. And it rises slowly. And after 5, 10 years, I'm a big picture person. I'm like,
Mm.
now you can see what I've been working on for the last 10 years. It's kind
Yeah.
of rather than one thing, then the next. It's just a different way, and we're all different. So own who
Right.
you are, trust yourself, back yourself, and then I believe you're creating a life you want to live.
Absolutely. And finally, I wanted to touch on this on a general overview point of view of our discussion.
Mm.
We came into this world as a human and we want to exist, not just exist, but we want to grow and explore and explore and explore. And we want to create more life for ourselves first and foremost and live that life, not just create, but live that life,
Yeah.
what you create. And that's a
Yeah.
beautiful that you
Yeah.
said was before. But for those people, I want to be a little devil's advocate here. For those people who wants to say, hey, but negatively, if you look at from that angle, that I want to create and I want to create multiple, but I am restricted by the system that we live in. We
Oh, yeah.
exist, but then the system is drawn to us. But again, as you rightly said, we can create our own life and live our own life, that creation.
Yeah.
Same thing, system is there. How do you see? Can we dodge the system? Can we break the system? Can we
Oh
come
my
from
gosh.
this system?
Are we ready for episode 2?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my
This
gosh.
will be our trailer. Should we
This is the
stop here?
trailer.
Should we stop here? We'll just give you listeners.
Little teaser.
This is a teaser. This is not we are going to talk about. Let's start. Let's take a teaser from Lizzie. How do we going to come to that and listen to us our next episode for not just existence, but the existence which is trapped by the system. Now,
Mm.
there are natural systems, universal, and there
Hmm.
are man-made systems by the through the government and everywhere. But then we still have to create and
Yeah.
live our own. So,
Yeah.
coming to you, let's give a little taster what is in store with the next episode. That are we going to be a system-driven robots, or are we going to be a system barriers or system breakup? Like they say, you break out from the system and you still
Mm.
live your life.
Mm.
What's your teaser here? Give something to the listeners so we can come back
All
on
right. All right. Well, I'm thinking in
what can I
terms,
what can I expect from Lizzie?
this is one of my favorite topics.
Mhm.
I think the best way to describe it is, and I want to embody it. I want to dance it because I see it as a dance.
Wow.
It is a fluid, backward and forth, listening and taking, choosing, dissecting, and exploring and creating
Hmm.
as we work out which walls need to be there, which safety, security nets need to be
Correct.
there, which ones can we challenge, and challenge all of it.
Hmm.
Ask the questions. Why does that exist? Why does that rule exist? Is it helpful to humanity? Is it helpful to us progressing? Are we able to thrive and live in that system in ways that is beneficial? Can some people and other people not? Do we
Hmm.
need a hybrid of
Hmm.
systems? There's
Hmm.
so many ways that we can unpack this, but it's a dance. It has to be multi nuanced and moving. It's not one quick answer, but it's definitely both.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you talked about why is this system exist in spite of all these things, and how do we break it, or how do
Hmm.
we change it, or how do we modify? And we come back to that original thing that we started, that we are here to create. We are not here to follow the system. We are
Yes.
not here to accumulate the system, nor we are here to chase the system, but we are here to create a system for our own existence. So listeners, this much only I can give you, not much more than that. And thank you very much, Lizzie, for this beautiful, beautiful conversation. I think we both can educate ourselves to start with, that how and why we
Mm.
are trapped in this system. But that's for the next episode. Until then, we say goodbye to you. But whatever, if you have enjoyed today's conversation, which was very casual, candid, and but more about humans, more about humanity, more about how we can touch each other's lives, more about, seeking help from each other or supporting each other, because that's what who we are, and that's what why we are here,
Mm.
how we can be a big part of each other's journey to make a little unlimited but little limited and uncertain time that we have on this planet.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
make the most of it, listeners.
And
I
enjoying
want
it
to say
together.
goodbye now, but Lizzie, you can say your last word and let's end this episode here.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the chat, Shailesh. That was amazing, as always.
Always, always. Yes, thank you so much, Lizzie. Bye for now, and please
See you in
wait
the
for
next
our
video
next episodes.
when we
Yeah,
break down some system walls and work out which ones to keep.
absolutely, absolutely.